now let's move to the user defined function. Okay, so before moving to this, do you guys remember we create a store procedure doing a similar function, whether telling based on the grade? So let me show you the table. Okay. So we have our customer table, and here we have grades. Okay, so we had a condition that based on the grade, we have to decide whether the customer is a platinum customer or a non-platinum customer. So if the grade is 300 or more than that, then they are platinum, else they are non-platinum. For that, we made a store procedure, that is get customer level, in which we are getting a customer level based on the customer ID which we are passing. Okay, this was the store procedure which we created. So now we'll do the same task using the functions, user-defined functions. So what we are doing here is, okay, we are creating a function, the create function, give a function name, and the input variable. So there's a after this, I will tell you the difference between the store procedure and the function. So first you need to create a function, create function, then the input variable, then you type, then returns the value, the varchar, then just a deterministic and begin. Level is greater than 300, will get greater than equal to 300, will give them. Am I audible to you? Hello?
And there was some lag in.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, yeah, so in the while create function, you will give a create function and a function name, then you have to give a input variable, then you have to define the return variable type, data type, what kind of data type it would return. Then this is that you have to type deterministic and begin. So for this, I just declared a variable customer level whose data type is same as my return value. Okay. So what we are doing is we are just checking, but if the C level is greater than equal to 300, we are marking as platinum, else we are marking it as non-platinum, and we are returning a P customer level and just ending it. So this way we are just creating a function. So our function has been created. So and if you see our store procedure which we created, so in that we were just using the query as well, and from that query we are getting the output, basically grade into C level, then we are comparing the C level. But in function we are not doing that way. So in function we are not using the query as of now. So if you want to see whether the function has been created or not, you can just show function status in your database. You can see function level, and you can see it from here as well, schemas as well. You can just refresh and you can see in functions you have cust level as your function. Okay, now what I'll do is I will just run my select star and the cust level grade from the customer table. So if I run this, so you can see for every record I am getting this value, but we are not getting that through the store procedure. So for while working with the store procedure, what we are doing was we are passing the basically customer ID, that and then we were storing that in the %temp variable, and then we were doing select %temp, @temp. But here you can just call a user defined function with a select query itself, and it will do for each and every record.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, yeah, so this was the function. So any issue with the functions?
Any significance for the keyword deterministic?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Any significance for the keyword deterministic there in the function?
Yeah, actually deterministic and non-deterministic, there are two functions, deterministic and non-deterministic. I am actually not very much clear about them, but yeah, I will try to explain what I got to know. Give me a second. So okay, let me share my screen again. I can show you this what I found for deterministic. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So it is we have to define whether the keyword, whether we have to give deterministic or non-deterministic. So deterministic always returns the same result for the same input, whereas non-deterministic function returns different result for the same input. So this is what they have given it. So I'm not very much clear about it. So if you don't give the value, it will by default take non-deterministic option.
Okay.
Let me share the screen. Yeah. So this was a user-defined function. So now the difference between these two functions, basically the store procedure and the user-defined functions are. Okay, the first difference is store procedure may or may not have a return, but a user-defined function must have a return. So you can see our store procedures. Most of them we didn't define any return function. Let's see. Let's go to our first store procedure. Yeah. So here we did. This is our first store procedure, and we didn't define any input or as well as any return function. But when we are using a user-defined function, we need basically a return function. The second is that store procedure can have input or output parameter, but user-defined function have only input parameter. So in user-defined function, you don't have any output parameter. You have to give input parameter. We can call a user-defined function from a store procedure, but we can't do a vice versa of it. So you can call a user-defined function from a store procedure, but you can't call a store procedure within a function.
Oh.
And the last one is you can call the function from a select, like I showed you. We can call our function from a select, insert, update, basically a normal SQL query, but we can't call a store procedure from that. For store procedure, we have to use a call command. But for functions, you can do a select you can call it from the select statement as well. And the fifth one, even I'm not clear. You can try to use a catch exception handling in store procedure, but you can't do in user-defined function. And you can use a transactions in store procedure, but it's not possible in user-defined functions. So this was the last difference. So the main difference, which is if you want to use both input and output variable, then you have to go for a store procedure instead of functions. But if you want your result to be with the tables and all, so you just use a function. So it will give you the result with each and every record of the table. Instead of passing each and every customer ID again manually, you can use a function itself. So that was all for today. So any doubts or any queries?
Swapnil, just one point. So a while back we were talking about the scheduled runs of the stored procedure, right?
Yeah.
And so basically it's showing what are the stored procedures that are currently scheduled to run, right? That's what this table shows.
This table shows, what all events are there in the system. So it may be this is disabled, so it's already ran. So if I run this, let's see if I run this command again, and if I show it is, show events. So it will show you that this event is currently running.
Got it.
So it's enabled, and if you have just preserved it, so it will show all the disabled as well.
Right. Maybe you couldn't possibly check this out, but I was just curious. In case a stored procedure has run or not run, does it also have the provision to show those logs anywhere?
See, if it hasn't run, it will give you the error. because if you don't call this function, you just execute this query.
Okay.
If you are if you have any error in that, it will just give you the error at the bottom action output as itself.
Okay. Got it.
And yeah, it will tell you the type, whether it's a one time or a recurring.
Right. Yeah. I was just curious because so typically in an enterprise setting, we'll have around hundreds of these events to schedule to be run day by day, and suddenly, so the users who consume those tables or those reports, right? Suddenly they'll come one day and they'll say that, hey, today I didn't get the data in this table. Could you please check? So then, what might be useful is, so what people usually do is they go through these event logs basically, and then they try to identify which particular event linked to which particular table has not run on that day and what was the problem. So in this way they do RCA, just food for thought.
So yeah, for that, see, if it's a one-time event, it will show you the execute at. So it will show you the date and time when this command has been executed. And for the recurring, it will be showing you that at the interval 30 seconds, it's running from this time to this time.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, but if you don't preserve it, it won't show you in the log. So that is the issue which you can face.
Yeah, I think a good practice might be to preserve it.
Yeah, like this first one ran, but you can't check it from the logs.
Right.